Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ariana Jasmine, and today I heard that a star chef is going to Israel to serve baby killers food. So yeah, let's talk about it. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment for more videos like this, and let's get into it. Okay, so apparently this woman is a celebrity star chef, whatever, and she went out of her way to go to Israel to feed soldiers that are going in and out of Gaza.
Here's another day in the life as a private celebrity chef in Beverly Hills. One of my clients wanted grain-free flax and chia pancakes along with green juice and a probiotic shot. And then I made some coffee and they wanted it to go, so I quickly Ubered over some Starbucks to-go cups. And then the second client...
I'm sorry, the fact that you would leave this type of life to go feed baby killers in Israel is wild to me. Like, sis, how much do they pay you? How much are they paying you?
Here is part 2 of private chefing on an army base for 600 soldiers in Israel.
Don't let him lie to you.
After cutting way too many onions, I get all of my mise en place and start on a fennel, potato, and celery salad, and I get turmeric all over myself.
No one saw that.
The IDF not only has Israelis, but Moroccans, Druze, and Arabs, so there was pressure when it came to my spice vegetable dish, and then all of my very hungry soldiers lined up from Gaza, and yes, I got in a Hummer, I couldn't help myself. And then it was time to serve the lunch, and there were hundreds of soldiers lining up for my delicious food, which they love. This soldier was one of the cutest ones, so of course I personally fed him seconds, but there were other runners-up.
Okay, so first of all, this whole idea that Israel is full of attractive people who are just ready and willing to have sex is a part of their propaganda. So this girl is not only being a propaganda machine for just like the food and being there and cooking, but this whole entire idea that, oh my god, this soldier was so cute, but there were other ones that also got seconds too. Yeah, you're literally feeding into the Israeli propaganda where they do the birthright trip so that you can fall in love with one of the soldiers that are, or the guides and the people that you see, and you can move with them and live with them. Like, it's that freaking simple. It's an occupation tactic. So let's just like move on from that, please. But also, don't you think it's so telling that this woman is a celebrity star chef going to Israel to cook these people food, and people in Gaza have not gotten any kind of food or any kind of aid in northern Gaza for 21 days? For 21 days, they haven't gotten any food. And this woman is on the border of Gaza, probably watching Gaza get blown up.
After many hours of cooking, I went to take a break. Just for reference, this is how close I was to Gaza. Then I went to do dinner service and ended with some gave me some high fives, so I think my food made the cut. We packed up more meals, and then I ended the day with falafel.
So what you just saw was a small snippet of, yes, a celebrity chef who does the whole, you know, very generic TikTok stuff where they show you what they make celebrities in a day, who is now in Israel going to Gaza to cook massive meals for IDF troops on active duty. Like, if you seriously didn't think that like hosting podcasts in the ruins of Gaza with IDF soldiers or posting thirst traps from there, which people involved in the IDF have done, now you have just these very wholesome cooking influencers going over there and cooking meals for the most immoral, evil army on earth to help fuel their crimes against humanity.
I wouldn't even call them an army. Like, are they an army? I would just call them people who commit genocide. Like, I don't really understand. Like, they're like a gang. Yeah, like a genocide gang. You know? That's how I feel.
Influencer, it doesn't matter. Like, it seriously doesn't matter to this person's career. That's why they felt so comfortable going over and doing this, because these people know there aren't any repercussions to any of this stuff. I talked in a video a couple of weeks ago about how Israel is allowed to exist in the way it does because it's essentially a proxy of the Western governments in the Middle East, right? Especially the United States. So it's in the interest of US capital to have Israel exist in the way it does. Plenty of people in America are dual American Israeli citizens as well. Lots of business dealings going on between them. The $4 billion in aid every year Israel gets from the US is actually conditioned on them spending $3 billion of that on weapons from US arms companies. So you can see how these are so tied together. And in that understanding of just like the global capitalist system, it's no wonder that you can do all these business dealings with Israel. You can. So this video is the story of Chef Bae, who is a influencer who has made, I guess, their fame from doing videos about cooking for celebrity clients. If you type in her name, which is Brooke Baevski, then you'll just hear all her stories about cooking like these very lavish meals for very, very wealthy people. And as I'm going to show you, you know, she has 250,000 followers on Instagram, 385,000 followers on TikTok.
So here's the thing. The reason why this girl, Brooke, felt comfortable going to Israel and doing that is because, number one, her home base is in LA. There's a lot of fucking Zionists in LA. If you are a Zionist and you live in LA, you're golden. But if you're not a Zionist and you're outspokenly against Zionism, you get thwarted from a lot of opportunities. It's just how LA works. Like, a lot of the people who are in positions of power or in positions to hire you and stuff adhere to Zionist ideology. So that's one thing. That's probably why she felt so comfortable doing this. It was more than likely probably a career boost for her, to be completely honest with you. But also, it's just so wild to me because she's not going to get any repercussions for doing this, right? Like, she's not. But if it was someone like, you know, for example, an American who goes into Gaza to hand out food, who gets killed, who has actually happened, like, not only do they get forgotten about, but the US government actually doesn't do jack shit about it. So yeah, this whole thing is just so Black Mirror-esque, you know? I feel like there were a lot of people that talked about it online.
Some of you guys genuinely deserve to be at the fucking Hague for the propaganda and the bullshit that you're putting on my timeline. There is something so fucking sick and twisted about a woman coming from America, flying to Israel to feed fucking genocidal monsters like the occupation forces. Those same people rioted over the right to rape Palestinians. Those same people are routinely headshotting children. They are routinely running people over with fucking caterpillar bulldozers. They literally ran a think piece in CNN over how bad IDF soldiers feel about the fact that they routinely run over civilians, dead or alive. And this is your daily reminder that if you were just a couple miles further down, if you were trying to do this in Gaza, if you were trying to actually feed the people who have been sieged in northern Gaza for the past 2 weeks, some people haven't eaten in fucking 19 days. Can you imagine spending every single day starving? And if you tried to feed these people like Yusuf did, the occupation forces would assassinate you.
That's the crazy part. Like, the difference is so alarming. And also, if you were to try to document handing out food to people in Gaza, you would be assassinated. If you tried to probably go in there, they would probably assassinate you. They've assassinated most of the journalists. Over, I believe now it's over 180 or 170 journalists that they've assassinated and killed. It's just the difference in the reality of these two sides, right? And the fact that her going to Israel is somehow glorified, that she's feeding these genocidal freak maniacs. Like, there has literally been an uptick in Israeli soldier suicide because they come back home with a tremendous amount of PTSD. A tremendous amount of PTSD. Of course, you look at war, and war, PTSD for war is very common. But at the same time, when you are genocidal and a part of genocide forces and you're conducting genocide on civilians, that's what happens. Air Force pilot Asaf Dagon killed himself yesterday and left a note to his mother. He had post-traumatic stress disorder after bombing thousands of Palestinians. His last words: "Today tears flow and words are written confusingly, painfully. I'm not sure what to say, want to share, and what not to share. There's a lot you don't know when you're the rock of my heart, my heroine, my mother. Maybe it will relieve you to know that I've found comfort and you won't worry about me anymore." This is a person that was in the IDF forces that would routinely drop bombs on innocent Palestinian people. And you want me to believe that this man didn't know that he was dropping bombs on civilians? He knew what he was doing was fucked up. And that's why his post-traumatic stress disorder ended up taking his life. Because you don't get to that point unless you are severely guilty of something, right? So it's just insane. Like, it's crazy.
Soldiers, your cute little boys, you fucking they would assassinate you if you tried to do what you're doing in Palestine, if you tried to do what you're doing right now in Gaza, because they did assassinate Yusuf for trying to feed everyone else in northern Gaza. But hey, I hope the check was fucking worth it. And this is also your daily reminder that they actually did charge journalists and propagandists in the Nuremberg trials. You normalizing genocide is your cross to bear. But if you were a couple miles down, your cute little soldiers would have assassinated you.
That's extremely true. And the fact that she's like, oh my God, he's so cute. I gave him seconds because he's adorable. That is literally something straight out of Israeli propaganda Zionist playbook. And you know what's crazy? She's literally feeding genocide baby killers against Palestinians while she eats falafel, a Palestinian dish. Like, isn't that insane? Isn't that just crazy?
deadly.
And then she's eating it over a Hebrew song. She's eating it over a Hebrew song. Like, that's crazy. Put that falafel down, bitch. Eat some unseasoned chicken and some Kraft mac and cheese. Like, really go back to your roots, bitch. Really go back to your roots. You do not deserve falafel.
So you guys know me, I'm a micro Jewish TikToker. It's always been my niche, and I didn't really lose out by talking about this war because everyone that hated me already hated me. But this girl right here, she actually has a brand and a company and a business, and she lost 15,000 followers for talking about Israel. It's 5,000. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. F that. They don't like me anyway. But she still did it. She still did it. She still did it. Look how beautiful. She's glowing. She's glowing. When you stand up for what you believe in, you'll glow from the inside out. Okay, good luck. I'll make this with you. I'll make sure high. Yeah.
That's crazy. She said when you stand up for what you believe in, you glow. Babe, she looks sweaty. That doesn't look like glow. That looks like sweat. You guys both look greasy as fuck.
Good morning. I'm taking you along with me for a typical day in Tel Aviv, Israel. Let's go.
Cheers.
Do you guys see the difference in life that these two play? Every single area she went in Palestine was probably somewhere where they slaughtered a bunch of Palestinians and took their land. Actually, it is after the Nakba. But that's so crazy that this girl can like put on her makeup and do Pilates classes and go around and buy food when people in Gaza literally haven't gotten food in 21 days now. Like, that's insane. And you know what's crazy? I feel like Israel thinks this is like good propaganda for them. They're probably thinking to themselves, oh, you know what? If we show this girl having fun in Israel, more people are going to want to come here. No, it just makes us hate you more. It makes us hate you more because we can read through the lines and see that you guys are a genocidal freak colonial project. Americans aren't as stupid as you might think they are. Like, a lot of Americans are not happy with the way Israel has been conducting themselves, even if American politicians say otherwise.
You're too pro. And today we are making an amazing Israeli salad with some za'atar grain-free chicken schnitzel.
As a mom, it's really important to me to feed my family, and of course, Chef.
I'm sorry, did she say an Israeli salad with za'atar? An Israeli salad with za'atar? Yes, the famous Israeli seasoning za'atar. Because y'all definitely didn't fucking steal that from every Arab nation. She said an Israeli salad with za'atar. Miss Girl, at least give the Lebanese some credit. Like, come on, za'atar is not Israeli.
Chef Bae feeds the world, and so we thought we'd do a little collab and help with what's going on in the Middle East.
So for every positive comment below, together we will donate toward families and children suffering from food insecurity in the Middle East. So let's get started.
Let's do it.
Which part of the Middle East? Like, are you gonna give the food to people in Gaza or fucking Israel? Because I'm so confused.
Fresh herbs.
You know what's funny? I love fresh mint. It reminds me of my childhood.
They somehow kill every single plant I've ever had.
So no herb garden for Chef
No
Bae.
herb garden.
Noted. Pomegranates.
Lentil style pita chips recipe. And then some pine nuts.
Are you seeing all the colors?
The best part of the Middle East, eating the rainbow. Turmeric tahini dressing. Chef Heather.
Tahini, not Israeli. Za'atar, not Israeli. Pita chips, not Israeli. So did they just take some fucking vegetables and throw a bunch of Middle Eastern shit in it and call it an Israeli dish? Because turmeric tahini? Sorry, this is an abomination.
Heather! Now you can mix it. So it actually looks good. You cook a lot of plant-based.
I do a lot of plant-based. My specialty is catering to dietary needs and restrictions and breaking the stigma that dietary friendly food isn't indulgent and sexy and delicious and satisfying.
You know what the problem is? It's not a stigma. It's because most of it does taste plant. And that's why we need you, Chef Bae, to take it all up a notch.
Now we're gonna do our grain-free za'atar chicken schnitzel.
Is that delicious? Are we having champagne with this? Is that a thing? This is what we call real chefing.
Za'atar chicken schnitzel. It's the perfect colonial fusion because the schnitzel is German, Za'atar is Lebanese and Middle Eastern. So she spiced up a German fried chicken dish with fucking Za'atar. Oh my god, this is such a mess. This is a mess.
In there. And now we'll plate.
Oh my gosh.
Yum.
I hope you're hungry.
Final chicken to crispy perfection.
Smell this. Oh my gosh. Bon appetit.
Cheers.
We need a show.
I'll be your sous chef.
Chef Heather.
Chef Heather and Chef Bae.
A perfect combination. That is fire.
Fire. I'm Chef Bae.
I don't know what that was, but I feel like that was a weird fusion of like regular staple foods and like, but trying to make it Middle Eastern and then claiming it's Israeli. Like the greens in a bowl, sure, but then they put turmeric tahini. I don't know what the fuck that even is. Pita chips. And then they made a chicken schnitzel, which is fried German chicken, but then they added za'atar to it, which is a Middle Eastern dish, which by the way, usually we'd add za'atar to like bread. I mean, you could cook with za'atar, but usually you add it to like bread. It's like more of a topping kind of thing.
Come with me to private chef for 600 soldiers on an army base in Israel. I woke up at the crack of dawn and was going to make an exception to my no coffee rule before I realized no coffee shops were open yet. And then I traveled 2 hours from Tel Aviv toward Gaza and pulled over to the one of many shelters covered in bullet holes from the attacks on October 7th. With a very heavy heart, I drive a few more minutes down to the kibbutz Shuvachim, which is where I'm going to be cooking for.
I love how the only time she mentions Gaza is geographic. Like she never mentions Gaza as in like, hey, I know a bunch of people are dying here. Like you can bring up October 7th, but you can't talk about all the hundreds and thousands of children that are dying. That's crazy.
For 600 soldiers, I say hi to a food bay. I get my coffee fix for the day because it is about to be a very long day. Then I meet Dror, who is one of the most exceptional humans I have ever met. He started this kitchen out of nothing on October 8th. Has volunteered his time every single day since. Every single thing you saw there was donations, and then it is time to get cooking. I get started on gluten-free schnitzel and prepare all of the veggies. And yes, my Hebrew and Arabic both needed some work.
We call it bishbash.
I get started on my hours of prep and mise en place, and Dror has a very special surprise for me.
Are we switching or are we using this one? Switch? Yes.
Will the real Chef Bae please stand up, follow and like for part 2?
We live in some crazy times. We really do. Damn, y'all. I don't know what to say about Chef Bae. I'm kind of speechless. Money talks. I will say money talks. And you know what? Someone like her, she's going to come back to America. She's going to have all the opportunities in the world. She's never going to have any repercussions for what she did. Then you have Palestinian people who just simply speak up, or Middle Eastern people who simply speak up for what's happening in the Middle East. And we lose jobs. We lose opportunities, we lose access to so many things. Why do you think so many people wouldn't speak out against Hitler and what Hitler was doing at the time? Because it wasn't, that's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, if I was alive during Hitler's time, I would have said something. No, the fuck you wouldn't have probably. Because you're not now. Because you're scared you're gonna lose your job. You're scared you're gonna lose your friends. You're scared you're gonna lose your, finances and where you get your fundings from. Like, you wouldn't have. You just quite simply wouldn't have. And that's one of the things. That's one of the things that's just so fucking sad. You know what I mean? Like everyone thinks they would have been some sort of like genocide crusader. No, the fuck you wouldn't have. Because a lot of y'all, I know people that told me, oh, I wouldn't, endorse Kamala, in public. I won't tell people I'm going to vote for Kamala so they can make their own choices. And then they got paid and they're fucking endorsing Kamala left and right in public. I know people who are very pro-Palestine, but they won't say shit out loud because they're scared they're going to lose their jobs. So no, you wouldn't have said shit. You wouldn't have said anything. It's that fucking simple. Anyways, thank you for watching my YouTube channel. My name is Ariana Jasmine, and I'll see you guys again.